This week on Car Obsession, Miller Corner reveals his snacking habits.
I'm a bit partial to M&Ms myself.
He also shares a top safety tip.
If you own the Seicento, you're safer to just eject.
And he gets me lost.
This could be an hour-long video because we just got lost.
Hello guys and welcome back to Car Obsession. As you can see, once more I'm joined by Bella, my Fiat Seicento Sporting, and I'm joined by two guests. I've got Joe Miller from Miller Corner, I've got his wonderful Seicento Sporting as well. And in today's video, I'm going to get his expert analysis of just...
Expert?
Yeah.
Let's not go that far.
I can't say novice.
No.
Intermediate?
Blagged.
Blagged.
Blagged knowledge.
I'm going to get his blagged knowledge of just how good or bad he thinks Bella is. So to kick off with, we're going to do a walk around. So we're going to grab this camera, grab, and let's do a little walk around. Now we will come to his wonderful Seicento Sporting in a little bit.
It's a bit dirty, sorry.
Now, because of how long this video turned out to be, the walk around with Joe's car will come in a separate video, so be sure to keep your eyes peeled for that.
Take it away, Joe.
So, right, well, first of all, I actually looked at this car for sale before Aaron bought it. He sent me a link on Instagram and goes, have you seen this car? Have you seen this car? And I went, oh yeah, I've actually seen a few Facebook groups I'm in. So, it's an X-Reg car, it's a 2000 reg, it's an SPI, single point injection. We should be able to tell by the sort of square front bumper on the Sportings. This is going to get nerdy, sorry.
Are you sure you're not an expert?
Not at all, no.
Okay.
Because that would imply I know what I'm talking about. The later cars from 2001 onwards got the sort of smiley front bumper like my one, which is multi-point injection. So this is a single point injection car, also orange indicator lenses. Mine as standard would have clears, but I've tinted them because I'm a chav. Just looking around this car, I mean, I looked at it in a few pictures and I genuinely thought it was a good, honest little car, particularly for the price it was at. Standard 13-inch sporting wheels. You see these for sale for next to no money because everyone has them. But you know what? They're good little wheels. There's a couple of tyre options on. I mean,
13 inches is all you need, isn't it?
Well, quite right. You know, my girlfriend seems quite satisfied with 13 inches. So, let's move on very swiftly. We're going to ignore the lack of wheel arch liner because Aaron's been working on this car. He said that does exist. It is going back on, so we'll ignore that. The SPI Sportings had these, they didn't have body mouldings here, they just had this kind of indent body line in the door with these very cool 90s spec graphics.
I like those.
I actually really like those, yeah. My car, the MPI cars as standard, you might have to overlay a picture, came with these sort of horrible big black rubber mouldings in the doors.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They deform and they crack and they go really ugly, so when we resprayed my car, we pulled them off and just painted them in because it does look so much better. But no, I like the graphics. There's some bloke advertising his YouTube channel there, which I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Yeah, I mean, who would put stickers on the back of their car, right?
I don't know. Who would do that?
Who would? Imagine. Pretty much all of them got a sunroof. I understand it was an option, but pretty much everyone spec'd it. And if you spec'd a sunroof back in the day, I hate you because I hate sunroofs because Exhibit A, they do leak.
That's an option extra, Joe.
Oh, is that more aero?
You should,
right.
You should know this. Maybe
Yes.
maybe you're not an expert.
Well,
having said that, I believe it or not, I actually have the original sales invoice for this car, and the sunroof is not down as an optional extra.
Maybe it was standard then.
The only thing optional is the paint.
Yes, now silver is an unusual colour on these cars because most people went with the broom yellow like my car, or red, and I can't remember off the top of my head what the red is called. You do see these in black. Black is particularly rare, particularly in the face of cars.
I haven't seen them in black.
Exactly, they're very rare. They got the orange graphics on the SPI cars, again, the MPI
That'd look
cars.
quite cool.
It would look quite good. I mean, I've been to Poland a couple of times and they modify a lot of these cars, so there's been all kinds of crazy colours. I've seen someone's done it in like a pearlescent yellow, someone's done like a sandy beige, so the only thing is, as you will well know, inside these cars there's a lot of bare metal on the doors in the back. Yeah. So if you're going to do a respray, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Moving inside, I'll assume you left it unlocked. You have indeed. The SPI cars had slightly different seats. So originally, again, my cars were modified, so we can't compare. The MPI cars have sort of a grey, more dull pattern. I prefer this, if I'm honest.
I like this.
Orange look.
It's faded though, which is a shame.
They do fade, unfortunately. But you know, other than that, these are in good nick. They did do an Abarth version of this, where the difference between the two is that they had Abarth in the headrests, and that's about it. Other than that, I mean, looking at it condition-wise, it actually looks very honest, very good. These cars can take an awful lot of abuse. They're tougher than people think, being Italian. Being a sporting, you've got a leather steering wheel, which is good, isn't it?
Quite nice.
It's not all threadbare, that's a good one.
No.
Again, that's one of the better leather gear knobs I've ever seen. That again, they can, because obviously you're changing gears a lot. It's an Italian car, you're rowing the gears.
Yeah, and let's face it, this car's got a lot of power, so
No.
you have to change gear quite often.
Exactly.
Especially on hills.
No, exactly. There's no such thing as a slow car, just a slow driver.
Oh, I like that, yes.
But anyway,
Touché.
looking inside, this being an earlier car, you have actually got a clock just there. A manual clock. Yes, you have to adjust it yourself. No, it's an analog clock in there. On my car, you get a digital clock, the luxury. But that all seems in good order. The earlier cars
Hang on, you get a digital clock?
digital clock. I'm decadent.
Yeah. Oh, you took the word out of my mouth. I was going to say you're decadent. Oh,
There we go.
You beat me to it.
White face dials, which you only get in the SPO cars. Again, my car, dark face. We'll see in a moment.
I quite like the white face stars.
I actually
Gives it a
prefer those.
classic look.
I actually prefer that, yes, as a classic car enthusiast. What else? Earlier cars, you got a sort of carbon fibre effect dash panel on the sporting
Whoa.
models.
What do you mean carbon fibre effect?
Sorry, genuine carbon fibre.
That's genuine carbon fibre. Look
Well,
at that. Look.
That's yeah. If I hang on, this is a carbon noise. That's the noise of carbon fibre.
It's like a Pagani.
Well, exactly.
Rumour has it, but he got his inspiration after he drove one of these.
Yeah,
and thought,
exactly.
you know what? I'm going to make a car called the Zonda, and it's going to be inspired by Seicento Sporting.
Well, you know what?
You heard it here first.
He did a half-assed effort, as far as I'm concerned. But we'll gloss over that. You'll also notice. I'm sorry, you're going to keep carrying the camera back in. No glove box lid. You tell me why. I don't know. I think it's just because the curved shape of the dash means it would be quite hard to put a glove box lid in it.
It's one thing that does annoy me.
Yeah, because you've got nowhere
a
to hide
glove box,
stuff.
but I mean, whenever I want to put my S&M things in there, I have to leave them on the show. So, no, M&S. I meant
yes,
M&S.
M&S.
With
What do you think?
my Percy Pigs, that's what I meant. I don't know what you thought I meant.
I'm a bit partial to M&Ms myself, and unfortunately you can't leave them there on a hot day because they'll melt, because that's not covered.
No.
On left-hand drive cars, and again you overlay picture here, that was an airbag. You could get an airbag over there. I believe it was optional. And a few people have said, oh, could you flip it and make it for the right-hand drive, or could you put a cover on? No, because it's sided. The left-hand drive one won't fit a right-hand drive car. So unfortunately, you just have to kind of put up with that. A few people have made them, and I've thought about making one, so maybe one day. Other than that, inside, I think this is really clean. The dashboard hasn't all sort of whited out and faded, which can happen with these.
One thing that's really annoying, now, I'd love to know the story behind it. You may not clock this yet because it's quite deep in the dash, but if you look down there, someone at some point has had some kind of candle in there.
Yeah, I've just spotted that.
And it's melted, and it's really annoying because it's left loads of nasty residue.
No, that's some sort of bong or something. Did Bob Marley own this car? Might have been lighting up while he was driving along. But other than that, I mean, you'll notice the tops of the doors are just bare metal painted. They did do bigger door cards that cover the entire bit, which was called the luxury pack door card.
I mean, the fact they call that luxury, it's just, I'm concerned about what their idea of luxury is.
It's luxurious. The thing is, when you think brand new, the Sporting was £6,000. So this wasn't an expensive car even for the top model. So you kind of have to manage your expectations. You did get a driver's airbag as standard, which is quite good.
Yeah.
You could get ABS, which this hasn't got it. No. If you see one with ABS, I'd avoid it because the sensors for it don't exist basically.
Yeah.
So when it stops working, it's just done.
Yeah.
Other than that, the space in the back is a lot better than you'd expect for such a small car. In my very early days when I was 17, I had 5 6-foot tall people in mine at once. So they're a lot more spacious than you think, because in Italy they love small cars.
They are a bit of a TARDIS. They're not too far away, concept-wise, from the original Mini.
No.
If you think about it.
Oh, that's controversial. I actually agree with you.
It is, but you get what I mean.
Yes. No. This is the thing. The thing I always say to people about these over Minis, though, is your value for money in terms of what you get. You get a modern fuel-injected car. You get some crash protection. They don't rot like Minis do. Minis, the rust area is here. Whereas on these, the only one place they do rot in the rear bumper mounts, although that is salvageable. They do rot in the rear arches because they've got no rear arch liners. I gather your car has suffered a little bit there.
Yeah, and that has been highlighted on a previous video.
Yes,
yeah.
Which has only been recorded a few days after or before we're filming this.
I know,
so we're time travelling a little bit.
Yeah, we are time travelling a little bit.
This will be going out in August for that reason.
Yeah.
Moving around, I mean...
Happy 2025.
Yeah, I was going to say, exactly. other than that, it's actually really straight, because these are just a shopping trolley car. People do tend to use and abuse them.
Yeah.
But actually, this one's pretty straight. There's the odd little mark on it. I mean, you've got a ding on the wing there, but even that's not horrendous.
That's character.
Exactly. This is the thing. And this, I remember reading an old magazine road test where they compared a Fiat Panda to a Volkswagen Up, and they say, you know, if you get a dent in your Fiat, it's a tragedy. But if you get a dent in the Up, you'd have to fix it. You know, you couldn't leave it. Whereas with these, like you say, each marker's got a story to tell and a bit of character.
Yeah.
And in some ways, it's like with my car, I had it resprayed, and when I got the first little dent in it after the respray, I was gutted. But it has a story to tell, and it means, you know, it's done something, it's been somewhere. It's peppered in stone chips because it's driven to Poland and back, and it's driven to the Nürburgring, you know, so...
So that's a nice little segue. So Joe will be driving Bella.
Sorry, so overall, I'll sum up for you. Overall, I think you've done well. I think this is a good car for what you paid and what they are.
So far, so good. Right, so we're now in the car, obviously, and Joe is going to give it a little spin and see what he thinks, really.
First observation, I haven't had standard seats in mine for 6 years, 7 years. I forgot how high the standard seats are.
It's like an SUV, isn't it?
There you go. It's like, see, you don't need an SUV. I've said this all along, you don't need an SUV. But yeah, other than that, let's give it a go, shall we? SPI beast.
Smooth.
It actually is smooth. We said we got a little fluctuation on idle, but other than that, that's actually a really smooth idle.
It's not bad, is it?
These engines do suffer with being quite rattly.
Bearing in mind that I've worked on it.
Do you know what? It's a commitment to your own work, because I think it's fine. These also, one thing I noticed, and you might hear it of mine later, the idle on them can be really rattly. You can get the valve clearances bang on, and still they idle like a bag of spanners.
They can be quite tappity.
But this one's all right, actually. And again, they've got a massive steering wheel as standard.
Yeah, it's a bit too big.
Which for a tiny car with power steering, you don't need it.
It is a bit laughable, isn't it?
But other than that, yeah, I forgot how high you sit. I literally, if you want a commanding view of the road, I tell you what, forget your Nissan Qashqai.
It's disconcerting because the wipers only wipe so high. So for the way how I would normally look at the windscreen, that part of the windscreen isn't actually swept.
No, it isn't.
So I have to kind of look down on the road.
Yeah, you've almost got to slouch, haven't you?
It's not designed for tall people.
It's not good for your posture.
It's not.
You know, teachers wouldn't approve of these cars. Why are you slouching?
Oh, just call me Quasimodo. Oh.
I know what you mean about the standard body roll though, because I've got so used to coilovers and so on. I will say, actually, immediately, gear change feels good.
It does feel good, doesn't it?
It feels tight.
Because it's not sloppy. It's long, but not sloppy.
This, because my one has been a bit notchy recently. I've got some new bushes and what have you to go in it, because they can. I mean, to be fair, my car's done what, 50,000 miles more than yours.
Yeah.
When you put it into perspective.
Well, you've been to Poland and back.
Well, exactly. So it's
and Nürburgring.
Yes, it's a bona fide race car.
Yeah.
But no, the gear change actually feels really sweet. Actually, that I'll give you that. That's tight.
I think considering the age, it drives pretty well. Oh my God, that's an awful road.
These roads are I mean, I'm sure you'll cut to it on the camera. They are absolutely diabolical. I'll tell you what it is. It's because no one pays road tax.
No.
They don't pay road tax around here, so the roads are just awful. But no, the gear change is really good. I have to say, I haven't felt the brakes yet. I'll wait till we slow down, because these do suffer with brake feel being absolutely awful.
The brakes when I first bought it were awful, but the discs were corroded. And
Let's just try a little. Oh, that's not too bad.
Not too bad, are they?
I think if you were hoping for a firmer pedal than that, you're not going to get one.
Yeah,
that's about what they open the window. The heater is savage. They have an immensely good heater, these cars.
They do. Yeah, the brakes felt rubbish when I first bought the car, and I actually did get some front pads and discs, but it was just surface corrosion, and when the car was driven for a bit, the brakes felt a lot better, so I thought, oh well, I'll return the pads and discs.
Yeah, it's not worth doing. See, look at the crater there.
Yeah, that is bad. You won't see it on camera, but yeah.
I think if I went through that in this car, we would lose the car in the pothole.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Whoa! Wee!
Camera's gone for a burn.
There we go.
There's an insight into behind the scenes.
I used to be a goalkeeper, can you tell?
Right, so we've got a bit of uphill. Do you mind if I give it a bootful? Just see what she's.
No, of course not.
It's Italian. You've got to try it.
I mean, you say give it a bootful, you're not going to get much of a boot out of it.
Relatively speaking.
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly smooth. I'll tell you what.
It's not bad, is it?
It sings. There you go. That was 4,000, give or take. I'm not going to go mental because it is only 30 through here. But you know what? It feels sweet. That feels good. The gear change is lovely. I keep coming back to that. Because my one does feel a little bit. I'm not going to. Vague is the wrong word. It's not that bad, but it feels careworn. You know, it's had one or two enthusiastic gear changes, most of them from me. But no, that one feels tight. The steering feels really light, because when you've got a massive steering wheel, there's no resistance to it.
ride's nice and comfortable.
Do you know what? The ride's better than mine.
Although I will be doing some form of change to the suspension, so I don't want to get too used to the suppleness of the suspension.
I've got some holly bushes if you want to.
No, no.
No, mine are already booked in to get removed.
Look, you can shove your poly bushes where the sun don't shine.
Let's try it. There we go. These cars are really good for heel and toe. I don't know if you've tried it yet, but because of the weird pedal box, if you've got decently sized feet, which you and I both do, they're really good for heel and toe. Here's a little fact for you then.
Go on.
VW Lupo, same era, same sort of size, weighs a quarter of a tonne more.
How?
That's
well,
Volkswagen steel for you, isn't it?
More refinement. I imagine they're probably going to be safer because this has got a really good, a really bad end cap safety rating.
Don't talk about it, it's fine.
No.
Don't crash.
No.
Just don't crash. Why do you need to worry?
I still find it funny how in the event of a crash, you're actually safer to be a pedestrian.
Yes, exactly. You're better off, if you know you're going to crash, jump out and let the car hit you. Because you know when you see a motorcycle racer crash and they throw themselves off the bike?
Yeah. Just do that.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
There's your top tip. If you own a Fitz...
If you own a Seicento, you're safer to just eject.
That's why I put the sunroof in.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's an emergency. You need a button rigged up for like James Bond style, so it flies open. I remember speaking to a guy with a Fiat 124 Spider once, the new shape one.
Yes.
And he put a roll bar in
the
it.
The MX-5 one, you mean?
That's the one.
Yeah.
The better MX-5. The better MX-5. The better MX-5.
Oh,
I went there. And he put a roll bar and he was like, I don't even use the doors anymore, I just pull myself up out through the roll bar. Like, fair play, Dukes of Hazzard style. But no, going back to this, I have to say, because I haven't driven an SPI car for a little while, this one does feel sweet. It feels tight, it feels really, really good. And there's no denying it is a smile machine.
Yeah.
It's light, it's fizzy.
It's a car that, to look at on paper, to apply logic, you think, why would this catch on? Why has this become a cult classic? But you drive it, particularly down the country lane, wind it up and get it through some of the bendy stuffs. It's got character, and it's got something that so many new cars just lack or don't have nowadays. Yeah. It's got a character, it's got a personality, it's got a charm. What's going on here?
I don't know what, we've got a car crash about to happen.
Have you stumbled into France?
I was going to say no one knows how to use a roundabout.
That was a very French manoeuvre on that roundabout. You guys wouldn't have seen that, but someone stopped on the roundabout to give way, like the French do. Very unusual.
There we go. Move your Kia Stonic. Whatever that was. What's that horrible thing?
That is a Stonic. You're correct.
That awful. Yeah, no, you're right though. It's kind of, it makes, the way I've always described it, like right back to the first video I did with mine, was that it makes the most out of the least. You know, like there's no frills, there's no.
We're on.
Go. Look at the speed. Oh. 0 to 10 really quickly there. But that's the other thing with these, like what power they do have, they make good use of. So like you'll notice they've got really short gearing.
Yeah.
So you can get up to 30 or 40 town speed really easily. So if you are only nipping around town, I think these are tremendous.
Well, that's why in my reveal video I said these are a good a good car for a first car, because you can drive it like you stole it, but you look down and go, oh, I'm only doing 25.
Yeah. Well, mine was my first car.
Yeah.
You know, and you kind of think everywhere I went with it and everything I did with it, and at no point did I feel, you know, I still had a great time, flung it around everything else.
Yeah.
But it's like I never got pulled for speeding.
No.
You know, because I wasn't. And I think that is it's easy for young drivers. Like I went to school with someone who went and got a Fiesta ST as their first car, and I thought, come on, you're going to bin it. You know you're going to bin it. Whereas with this, even if you do, you're not going fast enough to hurt yourself anyway.
No, exactly.
That's why they didn't bother with the safety. That's what it is. But you know, with this one, actually, I mean, like talking suspension-wise, it is roly-poly. We've established that.
It's really roly-poly.
In every other respect, it feels good. Like it tracks straight. You know, it feels it feels correct. You know, I wouldn't say there's any one corner doing anything floaty. The ride is pretty good. It certainly is better than mine. But yeah, this feels like a solid 80-odd thousand miles Seicento Sporting, which is what it is. I think for what you paid for it, and for what you've got, I think you've got what you paid for in the best way possible.
So I'm going to ask you a question. Well, the question I would ask you,
I'm just enjoying it. Bear with me.
I can't, because you know how much I paid for this. So I'm going to ask you a slightly different question, and it's how much would you have paid for it?
Okay, that's a good question. I think the trouble is with these cars, particularly with one like this, where mechanically it's quite good and structurally it's quite good and everything else, but people look at the cosmetics, and that is maybe where this car's got some character, like we said.
Yes.
And there are things to sort of like the sunroof and things. But I think if we're talking private sale, we're not talking dealer markup with your tyre shining. I reckon for a private sale, you could probably ask 750 or 800 for this car, realistically, and I think you'd be quite happy with that.
Yeah.
If someone came to me and said they paid 1,200, I'd say, oh, maybe not.
Yeah.
But if someone came to me and said they paid 600 or 500, I'd say you got a bit of a deal there, and I think you did get a bit of a deal here. I think this is not disclosing how much you paid for it, but no.
I'm quite an open person. I said in the video how much I paid for it. I paid 750 for it, as you know.
And I think that's entirely fair money for it.
And some people that I know did scoff a bit. I mean, you paid that much for that? I was like, well, I mean,
that's what they're worth.
The thing is, in today's used car market, okay, the prices are starting to come down, but just any car in any state, if it's got an MOT, 500 quid right there.
Easy, and you sometimes more. And I thought, why spend that kind of money on a Yaris, for example, or a Mark 5 Fiesta, when you could have something that's unusual, it's got a bit of character, it's got a bit of a sporty look to it, you can modify bits on it on the cheap, it's cheap to buy, it's cheap to run. If you don't need to put 4 people in it all the time, you don't need anything bigger.
Exactly.
It's always going to put a smile on your face.
And
what's not to love?
One of the great things about this car is that I use this for local runabouts, and I can just leave it where I want. I'm not precious about it. Whereas normally I'd be using my Leon Cooper for that, and I'll think, oh, what if someone dings the door, or I don't want to park it there. Whereas with this, sorry Bella.
Sorry to interrupt you. There's another Seicento.
Yes, there is.
Yes.
Yes.
She doesn't care. She didn't regret, did she?
No. They're really rare on the road. When I was speaking to Dean at Small Car Services, he says that he reckons that he only looks after about 5 Sportings now.
Yeah.
So yeah, properly rare. My other question is, what would you give this out of 10?
Oh, okay. Are we talking like in terms of general health and condition and what have you?
I will let you decide that, good sir.
Well, I'm not going to rate the Seicento generally, because I would give it 17 out of 10, obviously. Not that I'm biased. I think as a condition car, for what you paid and what it is and the mileage of it, which is, as we speak, 82,131.
Not bad.
Which is pretty good.
That's an M5, by the way. That's nice.
I don't care. I'm in a Seicento. Who cares about M5s? Please don't quote me on that.
That's definitely staying in.
Yeah, if I'm going down the job centre on Monday morning, you know why. I would probably give it, I'm going to say 7.5 out of 10. For 750, I'll give it 7.5.
I think that's fair.
I think, and what's more, what needs changing and improving on this is easy and relatively cheap to do.
Yeah.
You know, there's a couple of little crusty bits that need sorting. It's a bit of plating.
Inevitable.
You know, the sunroof needs sorting. Even if you have to replace the whole sunroof and the seal and everything else, 60 odd quid, 70. You know, so
is that all?
Yeah. I've probably got one kicking around somewhere you can have, actually. I've got all sorts of. I can do a good deal, sir, for you and my friend, the best price. So you know, there's loads of bits around for them. The bits on this are easy to sort. We've been talking about wheels. I mean, I might be able to sort you some wheels out for next to nothing. You know, so that's all good. You've got the exhaust now, that's ready to go on, and that is going to immediately, you will love it more for that. Yeah. Because the standard exhaust on these is so quiet, and that Sportex just wakes it up. It really does. It gives it a great soundtrack. So that's going to be great. I mean, different wheels are a nice one. If you want to lower it, there's lowering springs for... What is going on here? If you want to lower it...
It's kind of...
It's merging a bit.
That's why it's going into 2 lanes, but people were treating that as 2 lanes, but it wasn't really 2 lanes.
No. You've got to love people.
Oh, yes.
You can lower them quite easily. There's lowering springs for a bit of money, but to be honest, bearing in mind your shocks are a little bit wallowy, we think. I personally would probably go for the coilovers. Yeah. You can go really expensive with Avo ones or whatever, but to be honest, with the price of these cars, if you're not building a race car, which you're not,
it's kind of pointless.
TA Technics ones, honestly, I know people take like, sorry, I don't know if we can swear. I know people mock, but they're sort of 250, 300 quid, and they last well, and you can adjust the ride height to full Slamtacular 9000 stance fest if you want to, or you can just give it a subtle drop like you've done with your other cars. You know, and that transforms it. If people always, I've had messages from people saying, I've just bought a Seicento, what should I do to it? And I just say, exhaust, coilovers. Do those two things and put some good tyres on it, and you're done. You know, if you want to go mental like I have, you can. If you want to, don't bother trying to chase 150, 200 horsepower because it's not going to happen economically.
The tyres on this car, they're all very old.
Yeah, so I would put some good tyres on it, put some good suspension on it. You've got a fruity exhaust already. Don't let this Audi crash into you. And then you're good to go. And what you're left with is a car that still owes you relatively little in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. And is a great laugh and is really good fun. And I think you've got the basis here for
good God.
for a moon buggy, judging by this road. You've got the basis here for a car that is not going to cost you a lot to buy and to run, or to own and to run. That you can do as much or as little to as you like. If you want to make it perfect, you can put the money into it and you put the time into it, which actually still won't be a huge amount.
No,
but if you want it to be a little bit rough and ready and just take it out, throw it around, have a good time, drive to work with a smile on your face. Yeah. Perfect, why not? And that's always what I say to people with these cars is if you want a fun car for not much money, I do think these are great. They're not a hot hatch, of course they're not. No. But what they are is a great bit of fun, and as you said, they are a bit of a cult classic now. Yeah, they are. They've earned their own following, and I can see why. There's not too many about either, so they're somewhat of a rare commodity. Yeah, that's. I mean, we ignore the fact we saw one just now. But that wasn't sporting. No, exactly. We're better than that. Yeah. But no, in all seriousness, these are rare cars now. I mean, you go on how many left, which we don't know how accurate that is really. But you go on there and there are very few of these cars left. You know, they don't survive in massive numbers. And I just think it's because one of those cars that doesn't have a massive enthusiast following. There's not many people preserving them for years and years to come. No. So unless you're one of these mental people like me that spends loads of money on them, I've gone down a dead end road. I was thinking that. I was thinking, Let's just cut the cameras. Unless you're one of the very few enthusiasts who chooses to preserve them, they are a rare car. You know, we took a picture when we put our cars together today, and that's the first time in ages I've put mine next to another one. Yeah. It doesn't happen. And with MX-5s, I imagine you see one a lot. Yeah, 10 a penny. Yeah, exactly. I can't remember which way we came in here. It was that way, wasn't it? Probably. Yes. We'll find out. This could be an hour-long video because we just got lost. The worst part is, cards on the table now, we're doing this video in a town that I lived in for 20 years. In summary, I get why you bought this, which we are just about to do that video on my channel, but I get why you bought this and I'm glad you did, because it's something totally different. It puts a smile on your face for not much money, and I think when the time comes to sell, I wouldn't be at all surprised if you break even or even make a bit of money on it, even with what you're going to do to it. Well, one good thing that's come from this is that I've known of you for years, and we've spoken on and off now and then. Yeah, we first met at a car meet years ago. See, that's what I was trying to work out. We have met before. It was Surrey car meet years and years ago, if you remember. Blimey. But I see, my memory isn't the best, and I don't. We're very old now. I don't recall that, but yeah, it's meant I've had an extended amount of time, and I haven't laughed this much in ages. So thank you, Joe. Well, you're very welcome. This is what I mean. These cars put a smile on your face. Would we be smiling this much in a Golf? No, I don't think we would. So yeah, in my I was going to say professional opinion, professional idiot. My enthusiast opinion, there you go, we can agree on that one, is that this is a good car and I'm glad you've bought it and I think you'll do right by it. Well, we're almost back at the car park eventually, after about an hour's detour. It's a scenic route. I was just showing you a bit of the local area. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. I mean, look, there's a police station there. We've got to pop to the Screwfix in a minute to get some cable ties. You know, I mean, I can see why you lived here for 25 years. It's picturesque. It makes Monaco look more like Birmingham. Yes. Well, they do say this is the Monaco of South England. So, I mean, who needs Saint-Tropez when you've got next to on sea? Well, I mean, you've got all kinds of sights and sounds. We're in a lorry park right now, and you're just about to see the sights of a fantastic car as well, which is my car. Yeah. That lorry sounded good, didn't it? It's a straight pipe lorry. So there we go. I'll park us up next to another your little nugget. There we go. Oh God. Well, that was a lot of fun. Sadly, because the video is going to be quite long,
mostly because of your excursion. I will need to cut bits out, and it's going to be really hard to edit bits out of this video because it all needs to stay in. But guys, I really hope you've enjoyed it. Please follow me in the corner if you haven't already, but the chances are if you arrived here, you probably do anyway. Yeah, I don't think you would have quite enjoyed it watching this as much as we have filming it, but yeah, hopefully you have. Yeah, if you ever enjoyed it or liked it, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, all that jazz. Follow me in a corner. If you are subscribed to my channel, don't forget to click the bell notification. Same goes to his channel actually. But until the next time guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.